Janet on occasion, and today we're playing another Total War Warhammer Battle Replay. So, as you can see, I've got a Savage Orc horde, got the green tide coming in. So I've got a load of Savage Orcs in the front. I've got some Trolls, 3 lots. I've got 2 Goblin Archers, 9 Goblin Archers, and 2 Rusty Arrows. I've also got a couple of Goblin Big Bosses in the back, which is great for chasing down Wood Elves here. Oh yeah, I'm against the Wood Elves. You've probably noticed already. Also got a couple of Savage Orc Biggins in case they brought Wild Riders. They can just really they can just pin them down and demolish them. It's great. And I've also got my Orc War Boss on a Wyvern, so I can cause some terror. And I have the Night Goblin Shaman, so I've got the little War with me with the itchy nuisance. So lovely. So if I look over here, so I couldn't see either of the guys on his flank here. All I could see was this blob in the middle. So he had the Eternal Guard at the front, unshielded, and he's got some Glade Guard with Hagbane tips, and then some Starfire Shaft in the back. He's also got a Branch Wraith, and he's brought Orion. And so over here he's got a couple of Deepwood Scouts, both up to silver there, and same over here, 2 silver chevrons on these guys. So big investment in these 4 units, which yeah, I'm not sure if it really pays off. We'll skip ahead. So first off, to start moving all my army in, I just want to get in there as early as possible, avoid any funny business, because I was half expecting, there'd be just a load of Wild Riders in this forest. So luckily I got my Savage Orc Biggins, all is well. So yeah, I'll soon send my Orc War Boss over here to, investigate. But of course, quite clever splitting them up on both sides, because obviously you kind of expect things to be hidden in the forests, but not necessarily just out in the open. So it's quite cool that. So yeah, quite good use, but obviously, they're a bit undefended on these flanks, which isn't ideal. So yeah, soon I'll go and scout. Here we go. So he's coming in. I'll soon spot these guys, and of course, as soon as I do, I do some, fancy flying with the Orc War Boss, and I send in my Night Goblin, not my Night Goblins, my Goblin Big Bosses, because they can just completely tear through archers. They're so good for slowing enemies down. So with these guys being exposed on the sides here, it's it's really useful. However, these guys do have crazy weapon damage. So yeah, missile damage of 42, which is huge. So if I'm not zigzagging, that Orc War Boss would get absolutely destroyed in no time. So here he starts opening fire on my line. So charge them all in. Fortunately, they did stop moving for a second there, but didn't give him much time to capitalise on that. So yep, send my Orc War Bosses in. See him charging in there, and I think he did stop and fire at my Orc War Boss a little bit too long. But here, look at this. Without the shields, the Savage Orcs just get completely shredded by arrows. This is just awful. Look at this. Absolutely crazy. So yeah, they're completely melted. They're completely melted. I mean, there's still, 50 of them supposedly. But yeah, a couple more volleys and I'm pretty sure they shatter. And yeah, these guys are soon to do the same as well. So yeah, crazy, crazy. So I peeled some guys off because I know these guys are on their own. If I can shut them down, they lose a lot of utility. My front line, I've got guys running as well, but I'm all up in their flank here with my Savage Orcs, and I've got some Goblin Big Bosses. I've also got my Savage Orc Biggins coming in, and this front line, although it's not doing great, there's a lot of fire on them and stuff. You can see the Eternal Guard start to take some serious damage. They are just not well matched against Savage Orcs. The Savage Orcs got the physical resist, and they've just got mad stats, so they'll just tear through the Eternal Guard. So here, you can see I've managed to get these guys away. I've got Wurzag, not Wurzag, he's just not War Boss, but on a Wyvern I always assume it's Wurzag. No, yeah, Azag. What am I talking about? Not even slightly Wurzag. Anyway, so I get some guys running, but I send them straight back in, because, battle's going quite well, they're not able to chase my guys off so much. So that's good news. So I send my Trolls back in. The Trolls aren't going to perform brilliantly against the Eternal Guard, they've got the, anti-large bonuses, but saturated in with all these Savage Orcs, they're not going to have a problem. They can regenerate through most of the damage they take. So you can see, starts trying to get some javelin fire on my Orc War Boss. Coming for a quick dive, I was hoping to, do some damage there, but I didn't. And I didn't want to stay in combat with him because Orion is an absolute trooper. So luckily I intercepted some of his Eternal Guard. That was trying to slip into my back line with some Savage Orcs that rallied. And you can see they're just being torn apart. So I'm all up in the back line now. I've just got Goblin Big Bosses going from archers to archers. It's shutting down a lot of their utility, and obviously he's not going to do well with the, just the Eternal Guard against all these Savage Orcs. So he really needed these archers to stay online for as long as possible. He does bring these Deepwood Scouts back, because I didn't bother chasing them the whole way, because frankly I wanted to get my guys back in the front line and just finish off this core, because once that was dealt with, the archers wouldn't have mattered. So you can see everything's starting to run now. So army losses hit him, and yeah, they're all running. I just had him completely surrounded. You know, I had numbers on my side in a big way here. So it comes in with a nice bombardment spell, I believe. Yep. So, you know, nice hit, but it's a bit, you know, it's a bit late, really. It's not going to turn the tide. So, you know, I've got my goblin big bosses running about. So, you know, he tries to run away. He does have great speed, Orion. His speed is 70, which is really high. But, of course, as soon as I hit him with the goblin big boss, that goes down to 56, because of the poison attacks from the spider mount, which is huge. So there's no escaping. Yeah, I'm not sure what he would have done if he'd run. Turned around, thrown a javelin and ran for another 20 minutes, I don't know. But, yeah, he just gets absolutely trashed here. He's just surrounded by all sorts. So, not a good place for him. And there goes Orion. So, yeah, I thought that was a really fun one. So, I mean, that this kind of army, I think if I'd brought something like, you know, Black Orcs and things, then I would have been torn apart. But I don't know if anyone would bother bringing, like, a heavy army like that as the Greenskins against the Wood Elves. Because, you know, they don't need that crazy armor or armor piercing. And they need to be quick. So just bring a load of Savage Orcs, just test through these guys. Obviously if you had a load of Treekin in the front or something, you know, to tank out that damage, then the Eternal Guard could have performed better. But he didn't have that. He didn't have any cavalry, so he couldn't outmaneuver me. You know, there's a few mistakes made there. But you can see the amount of damage these guys do, though. Look, like 50 kills each for these guys. Which is absolutely fantastic, and I shut them down really quickly. So if I hadn't shut them down, they could have got so much, like, so much use. And the other two that I caught in the forest, they weren't used well at all. Unfortunately, I just couldn't get the damage on my Orc War Boss. And after that, they were just ambushed. You know, they had all of my Orcs on top of them. He just didn't have enough of front line to be able to peel things off to protect them. So that's a real shame. So although these guys performed brilliantly, you know, tearing through Savage Orcs without their shields and everything, you know, it was just too much. There just wasn't enough holding the line, protecting these guys. So they weren't able to get their full value. So, yeah, I think the balance was just wrong with this army, unfortunately. But, I mean, look, it was a great idea, though, because these guys performed brilliantly against this kind of army, but, you know, he just didn't have enough. He didn't have enough. So, but my bloody hell, 168 kills. I had no idea I had that many. That's insane. Sweet. Right, so, if you guys enjoyed this video, comment, like, and subscribe. You know, always happy to have a chat. And I'll see you in the next video, okay? Have a good day, everybody.